doing is working in Tinkercad. If you've checked out my YouTube page, The Varied Life, please like and subscribe. Shameless plug, I know. But with that, playing with Tinkercad, and yeah, I need Tinkercad for Dummies. But what I have ended up doing is being able to make a 66 unit paint rack for my little army painter paints. So little acrylic paints, yeah, paint miniatures and stuff like that. And so what I ended up doing is going through on Tinkercad and making some stuff. So I want you to take a look at this real quick. So there is the Tinkercad, and yeah, what we ended up doing is basically taking an octagon, and I think it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, whatever, the hexagon, octagon, whatever it is, whatever that shape is, and was able to take that and then create a hole in it, and then create a hole on the back and a base and put a little nub there. And then I copy and pasted in the different rows. So we have a total of 66 different paint racks or paint holders. And then these little guys down here, what I ended up doing is using the paint rack as a model, and then using that, setting it to a hole, was able to put that, the red on top of the blue, and these are going to be the feet, and you can see the cutouts that we have there that match the cutouts that we have on there. So yeah, it was kind of a cool thing. I'm pretty proud of it. And with that, I actually exported this, because you can export things. Over here, you can import, you can export, and I exported that and printed it out on my K2 Plus. So, but before I did that, I spent an inordinate amount of time on Tinkercad playing with this, getting measurements, pulling out the calipers, measuring the bottle and this, and then finally came out, I printed out a test piece. And this has got the fuzzy skin on it. So, you know, it turns out it's pretty good. I mean, it's got a nice sheen to it, which makes it look nicer, but it does add a lot of time to the print. So even though this looks really nice, yeah, I'm not going to do fuzzy skin on the print, but we do have the little nub that you can see right there. And that little nub marries up with this little indentation that we have. So when you have your paint rack and you put your bottle in, you have that little nub there that will hold that bottle there. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And eventually it'll fall out. But I thought this would be a good way. The orientation is going to be straight up and down. And so if there is any possible movement or earthquake or whatever, you know, that little nub in there would hold the bottle into the holder. So with that, after getting a good test piece printed out, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do all this. I didn't print out a test unit of the feet, because really, I know those things are going to print out anyway. I just didn't know whether they're going to print out and marry up with the model. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to take a look, because I did print it out. And you will be able to see the final result. So let's take a look. Here it is. Looks like just in the picture, huh? Except maybe like that or whatever it was. But yeah, the feet ended up printing out. And again, I didn't put the fuzzy skin on there because I wasn't like too concerned about it. I think I used like a 7% infill or whatever. Still need to do a little cleanup on the edges and stuff. But yeah, this turned out really good. And the same thing with this piece. Turns out nice. And again, you can see the layer lines and stuff like that just because of the light. I was thinking about doing this in black, but I didn't have enough black. But here is the thing itself. And so it's got some weird kind of banding on there. And I'm not sure if that's because of the model itself. And we do have some artifacts, but I did set the seams to random. So that's why we have those things. Those are the actual seams. But other than that, it turns out pretty good. And the surface on the back is really good. Maybe a couple areas that I was concerned about, the first layer. So kind of like what we end up seeing there. maybe a slight problem with that, but overall it became a successful print. So what we'll end up doing here is we will set this, as you can see, in there, and let's just use the wide stance, and it sets up there, and it actually fits. So on this one, it fits a little bit tighter, I'm not sure, but I think on some of the other ones, it ends up, but not that I would rely on that, just the snap fitting. I would probably, if I was going to use this in the way that it is now, what I would end up doing is obviously putting some glue on there or setting up, maybe do a little bit of welding on there, so where we could end up taking the PLA, which this is printed in, and, you know, maybe weld it on the back here on those joints where it comes together. And yeah, so pretty cool. And these pieces do, since I made them the same, they do, oh, I think that's better. They do connect, and so they're not specific. Yes, for some reason that one's just a little tiny bit loose. But overall, I think it ended up as a pretty good paint rack, which is going to work out great in the fact that I did get some new paints. And these are the War Paints Airbrush Mega Set from Army Painter. So I bought those, and that's going to be the holder. 60 paints, 66 holes. So I'll have some bonus holes. It's always good to have a bonus hole, and donut holes for that matter. But yeah, what we can end up saying is we got a bunch of paints in there, and that is going to work out well in the personally designed 66 unit paint rack. So yeah, that's what we got going on. So anyway, yeah, we finished up printing on the K2 Plus. It ended up being just over 15 hours. So yeah, this was kind of a long print. And in retrospect of printing this out, I think I could have done the walls a little bit thinner. I could have done thinner walls. So yeah, I'm already working on a version 2 of this with thinner walls, so it doesn't use as much. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. So anyway, that was the thing. I was pretty impressed. I was hyped because I ended up designing that on Tinkercad from scratch, and calipers and printing and a little test print that I did, and finally jumped in and said, well, let's do 15 hours of printing on the K2 Plus, and it printed out great. So still a little concerned about that first layer though. Did see some imperfections, not that did anything to the print, but yeah. Used Creality Hyper PLA Gray, so we had that, just used the default settings. So maybe I need to do some calibration on that a little bit to get a better first layer. So if you know of any tips, tricks, videos on how to kind of fine tune that first layer, let me know in the comment section or send me an email at officialthevariedlife@gmail.com. I would appreciate that. So that said, I'm getting hungry, and it's almost lunchtime here in Korea, so we're going to be doing that. And I guess I will bid you adieu, and we will see you on the next video, okay? Peace. Yeah, cool stuff. Came out good. And like I said, when I get these, it fits in just like that. So yeah. Perfect. That will be awesome. And I wonder, I could actually, I didn't even check this. Can I put it in the back? So I could do that as well. It's not going to be held, but it's at an angle that angles it up. So for this orientation, I think that could work as well. And you still have some finger room. And I think it sticks out the back a little bit, just a tiny bit. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that I put those little indentations in there because that'll work as well, and you can get a quick reference on what colors are what. So yeah, there we go. Good.